The Pokemon scalping problem. I'm sure everyone has heard about it by now. From empty store shelves to impossible to find products online and sold out McDonald's promos, scalping has been a huge problem in the Pokemon community over the past year. Over the past few months, I have been involved in the part of the Pokemon community that is not seen too often. I've been involved in Discord groups, Reddit groups, and more. From mass purchases of product and botting, I have seen it all. Today, we dive into the dark side of the Pokemon world. Before the video begins, I would like to give a special thanks to Frost and Caribou and Summoning Salt for inspiring me to make this video. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So how did we get here? Since the start of the pandemic, the popularity of Pokemon cards has been increasing pretty quickly. Most products were able to be found still up until around September. This is when the 2020 holiday set called Champion's Path released. It was at this moment where the demand was too much for the Pokemon company to keep up with. This is where scalpers began to join the hobby. Champion's Path products were hard to find, but not impossible. And little did we know, it would get worse. You guys all know who this is, Logan Paul. He opened a first edition base set booster box in October last year. This event caused a huge spike in Pokemon popularity, even more than what we had seen earlier in the year. If we take a look at Google Trends, we can see two main spikes in the popularity of Pokemon over the last year. One in October when Logan Paul opened his first booster box, and the second one in February when he announced he would be doing more booster box openings. The Pokemon hobby is still at an all-time high and shows no signs of slowing down. And as you guys are aware, this is a problem because the Pokemon company cannot keep up with printing Pokemon cards. And what makes this issue worse is the fact that many of the people getting their hands on Pokemon cards are scalpers. People selling their sealed items they just bought from Walmart on eBay for a premium. Now before we dive into this issue, we have to talk about the different types of people in the Pokemon community. I have come up with 4 different types of people. We have players, collectors, scalpers, and investors. So players are exactly what you think they are. They are people who buy Pokemon cards to play the game. Whether it's online or in person, they are just trying to have fun and play the game. Now let's talk about collectors. Collectors are people who buy Pokemon cards to try and collect the rarest cards out there, or maybe just a personal goal. There is no harm in being a collector, and in fact, most people who are into Pokemon are collectors. Now this is where we get into investors. Investors are a bit of a hybrid between collectors and scalpers. Investors are looking to hold Pokemon items long term to try and make money. Investing in Pokemon is fine as long as it's not to an extreme. In fact, most collectors are actually investors without knowing it. If you have a collection at home, your collection is gaining value as time goes on. It may not be your intention, but this makes you an investor as well as a collector. However, one main difference to notice is that investors usually tend to put all their money into sealed products, while collectors are usually the ones opening packs trying to collect the rare cards. This is where we get into our problem area. Scalpers and investors who are dumping loads of money into Pokemon cards and hoarding products. The difference here is that scalpers generally tend to sell off their purchases immediately, while if an investor buys out a Walmart, they are probably hoarding all their product in their basement for years to come. Both of these groups are problematic, and we are going to dive into deeper detail and see how these guys are operating and how they're able to get product when we are not. You may find the following images disturbing. I have pulled all of these images from various Discord groups, and as you can see, people are able to find product in mass quantities. But how are they doing this? There are tons of Discord groups out there for helping people find Pokemon cards. There are also groups that help people by using monitors to monitor stock online, or just flat out bots that auto purchase items for you. Today we will be looking at the largest group out there, known as r/Pokemon TCG Deals on Reddit and Pokemon TCG Deals on Discord. This Reddit group has over 20,000 members and on Discord has around 8,300. Now the Reddit isn't anything too special, however things get a little crazy when we head over to Discord. You could classify this Discord server as a shit show. However, what makes this server special is the fact that they have 8,000 members. And the way this server works is by assigning every member certain roles based on which sets they would like to know when a release happens. Now this doesn't seem like anything special. However, with 8,000 people, the amount of resources and manpower they have is insane. There are countless members in this group with inside info on certain things, and also, even if they don't have inside info, there are 8,000 members, at least one of which is going to be scouring the internet for deals. This group is able to receive and share info very quickly. So if a drop happens at PokemonCenter.com and they find out, the first thing someone does is ping everyone, and what do you know, 8,000 people are on the site at once, and that is why Pokemon Center gets crashed so easily. It is not just Pokemon Center either. It is Walmart, Target, Best Buy. It is any site that sells Pokemon cards. These guys are on it, and they will buy out a site so fast. So in addition to any bots that are already on the site auto-buying items, you have 8,000 people all trying to buy the same item at once. Recipe for disaster. And it gets worse, because most of these guys are scalpers or hardcore investors. And many of these guys come from the sports cards or sneaker community, where botting items in mass purchases are common. And these are also the same type of people who line up at Walmart at 6 a.m. to try and get their hands on even more Pokemon cards. And we are only beginning to scratch the surface of these groups. The TCG Deals server is a problem, but let's talk about the main players here. These more hardcore groups are known as cook groups. These groups of people are the absolute scum of the Pokemon community. They will stop at nothing to make profit off of Pokemon. These groups operate the same way as the Pokemon Deals community works. However, they are usually assisted by the help of technology. Most of these groups charge some sort of fee in order to use their services. These services include having monitors to be able to monitor stock online, or maybe just flat out bots. In addition to this, these people go to extreme lengths in order to be able to get their Pokemon cards. This includes being able to find bypasses to websites to access product earlier, theft, and even tracking Pokemon card vendors. Let's talk about what these groups have been up to lately. So about these website bypasses, I'm not sure how these people get these bypasses, but what it allows them to do is access sites earlier such as GameStop or Amazon, which happened for Shining Fates, specifically the Elite Trainer boxes, and they were able to go in and buy out most of the product before the link was released to the public. This is a huge problem because if all the stock is being bought out early by these cook groups, it's going to be almost impossible for casual fans to be able to get their hands on these products. Now let's talk about theft. Many members of these groups are criminals. For instance, one of the admins of the Pokemon TCG Deals Discord purchased a stolen card from a member. This card was the Shining Fates Charizard VMAX, and by stolen, I mean it was stolen directly from the Pokemon printing location. And it doesn't stop there. These are the same people who will open up the cereal boxes at Walmart and take out the Pokemon cards. And now let's talk about how some of these guys track the vendors. Recently, a Pokemon card vendor had discovered that there was a tracking device on their van. This device is being used by scalpers to track the location of this vendor and follow them to every location. Many of these cook groups also invest heavily into Pokemon products. These groups will make special posts about certain cards or items and have all their members go out and buy them. An example of this was in the Pokemon TCG Deals Discord when full art trainers began to take off. These guys saw the potential in full art trainer cards, so every week in their Discord, they would have huge voice chats of people where they would pick out a certain card and they would all go buy it out on TCG Player or eBay. This is called market manipulation, and the same thing happened with the Special Delivery Pikachu card. Now that we've learned about the scummiest groups of the Pokemon community, there's one more group we need to talk about. You guys know who we're talking about. We're talking about Leonhart, Pokerev, Unlisted Leaf, Real Breaking Nate, all of them. The question here is, are these influencers at fault for the scalping problem? In my opinion, they partially are. These YouTubers are the face of the Pokemon community, and they are always talking about the values of Pokemon cards and how expensive some of this stuff is. Now, I have no problem with them talking about money in their videos, but they have to think about the message this sends out to the community. With all these new people getting into Pokemon, they have to realize what this does. It's creating the idea that Pokemon cards are only cool because they have value. Now for most people, they'll be like, cool, these Pokemon cards are worth money. But for scalpers, they see this as an opportunity. These YouTubers are publicly advertising that there is money to be made in Pokemon. And what this does is bring more scalpers into the hobby. And soon enough, they're buying out Walmarts and joining cook groups. Spreading the love for Pokemon is perfectly fine. However, the line needs to be drawn somewhere. We always see YouTubers talking about how supply is low because the Pokemon company can't print enough. And they also mention how the demand is crazy and how so many people are into Pokemon right now. Now the thing these guys have to realize is that the average Pokemon fan is not going out to Walmart and buying mass quantities of Pokemon cards. There has been almost no talk about scalpers or scalping among the top Pokemon YouTubers. The faces of the Pokemon community need to step up and say that they condemn the actions of these scalpers. However, I feel that it is too late. This needed to happen months ago, and the damage has already been done, and now there's no going back. With big money signs and values flashing everywhere, these guys continue to fuel the greed in the Pokemon world. I don't think the YouTubers were the cause of the problem, but they certainly aren't helping. And unfortunately, this is what the reality of the Pokemon community has become. But what can be done? Looking forward, there are only two ways this problem is solved. Either the hype for Pokemon dies out, or the supply catches up. It all just depends on which happens first. This problem may have been avoidable, but the YouTubers did not step up, and they just played directly into the hype. Now it makes sense on their end. The more popular Pokemon is, the more popular their channel gets, but they need to realize the consequences of these actions. All this money talk has led to the dark side of Pokemon being formed. They need to share the truth about the Pokemon world, not just talk about how supply is low and so many people are into Pokemon. There needs to be talk about scalpers, cook groups, and everything in between. The leaders of the Pokemon world have let us down, and they have opened the gates for scalpers and hardcore investors to ruin the hobby. But today I leave you with this. It is okay to collect Pokemon cards and talk about money. It is okay to even do a little bit of investing. But at a certain point, it is too much. And we are way past that point. Things need to change.